All right, there we go. So this is my first video because I am trying to practice what I preach, but I am doing this video for class participants who are not able to attend class. This video and subsequent videos will be reviews of what we discussed in class. And tonight, being October the 2nd, Monday, it was the writing class at the Helen Keller Library in Tuscumbia. This is my classroom at the Helen Keller Library. I'll show it to you more here in just a second. I have my phone propped up. And these classes meet free to the public every 2 times a month, usually every 2 weeks on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., so 2 hours. Anybody that knows me knows that I can certainly speak on something for 2 hours because I'm very passionate about education. I'm passionate about wanting to help. If I can help anyone, but particularly people, writers, authors, wanting to be published, the ultimate thanks will be me being one of the first in their book signing line when they're at a book signing at a bookstore. And that's what I hope and pray for every one of the authors and potential authors that I have the honor of coming in contact with. But free to the public here at the Helen Keller Library. They offer it exclusively here at the Helen Keller Library. The Helen Keller Library, by the way, is about to celebrate 125 years in existence, and that is a beautiful thing. So, let me talk about the review. Tonight, in writing class, we discussed self-promotion for authors, and we discussed easy and cheap ways. We're talking micro-budget here, $1 to $20 being a micro-budget. And we started off with our need to create an argument for our work. But we also create an argument for ourselves. Why do people want to become engaged with us and our work? We have to create an argument. I start the classes off here at Helen Keller with a box of questions, and they are questions that deal with literary topics and writing topics. And Miss Lana Drake, one of the beloved participants, she drew the question out, and the question was, why is your story worth telling? And that fits so perfectly in with our topic tonight about creating an argument for our work. Why is our story worth telling? But more specifically, why is our life, why is what we do, why is what we believe, in addition to why is what we're writing, important to be told, worth telling. So we discussed that about how to create an argument for ourselves, and all that is finding the theme in your work or in yourself, and not being shy and not brag. Now, bragging is brash and tactless. But we have to self-promote in such a way that it is not bragging, that you are stating obvious fact out of an enjoyment for what you do and why you do it. We talked about websites. We talked about the big 3 websites. Every author should have an author's page, author page. A website may be built on WordPress, which is a standard, Wix, GoDaddy. There are so many of them. Free, or you can pay to get expanded packages and options, a wide array of offerings on those sites. But we need an author page. Number 2, we need a Facebook page. And I'm not necessarily talking about a Facebook page that's private to where you can talk to your grandmother and your uncle's goat and all that. I'm talking about a professional page for a public figure or a professional Facebook page that you can boost your events, like $3 to boost a post. And there are various options there that you can narrow your audience down, because when we talk about finding fans, we have to address our target audience first. Okay? They are the given, the financial given. Okay? Now, whether you are in writing for, and I need to watch my southern accent there, writing for, not riding as in a horse, but writing for the money or just to express yourself, you will have the first and greatest luck with a focused audience. If you're writing a book about a vampire, then you're going to find audiences that enjoy books about the vampire first, supernatural second, and on and on and on. Okay? So we have to use websites in a way that give us the most bang for our buck. And using that micro budget, you can, between $1 and $20, you can market yourself and your work effectively. And even though through traditional publishing, a traditional publishing house, you will have marketing people working with you, but you're still going to have to do a lot yourself, because they have multiple interests going at one time, but they may be dropping the ball on some things that you think are important, so you have to take the slack up on that. So, and Twitter, excuse me. So there's an author, a site, like a blog site. Be sure to blog. Blogging is very important. But come up with an author page through WordPress or GoDaddy or Wix or whatever. And then Facebook is second, and then Twitter is third. Okay? Twitter is third. And you always keep it about your book, any content relation to your book, and yourself. You tie that all into a nice, beautiful package. And people like that. People like human interest. Okay? So do that. Finding fans we talked about. So we talked about creating an argument. We talked about websites. We talked about finding fans. All social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter, they have analytics that age, gender, interests, they collect all that data. So as authors, we can use that data to find and foster intended audiences. And then our platform will grow beyond that naturally. That's just the way it's working at this time. I had a student tonight ask me, or a participant tonight, ask me about, do we have to use social networks, online? Do we have to have an online presence? Yes, in 2017 we do, if it is just an author page, okay? Because if you, one very good reason, if you want to go the traditional publishing route, you're going to have agents and editors, but agents particularly, when you send that query letter in, you're going to have an agent look at your author page, okay? They're going to get a feel for you by Googling, by using Google. So it is needed in 2017 to have an online presence to some extent, okay? If you don't want to be sending out tweets, that's one thing, but certainly an author page and then Facebook. All right, so we talked about finding fans. Use those analytics to on social networking sites to find fans, okay? You can narrow it down. I read an article. You can narrow it down to Stephen King fans within, I believe, and I'm quoting this article, Stephen King fans within 10 miles of New Orleans. You can narrow it down. So narrow it down. That fan base first, and then expand beyond your focus fans. Okay? And then we talked about cheap publicity. Okay? We talked about giveaways. We talked about creating an app. We talked about various things that you can do with an online presence. Some authors will write a prequel to introduce people to their world, to their story world, to their characters, and offer it for free, like a little novelette. Some will put the first chapter of their book online for free, and if they do the job right and they're creative enough, it will hook the fans, and it will keep them hooked to buy the book. So we talked about those 4 things. I'm looking at the board if you're wondering what I'm looking at here, just to remind myself. So self-promotion, create an argument, use websites, find your fans, and then do it utilizing the most bang for your buck. All right? We're not going to meet here at the Helen Keller Library again in October unless it's a special meeting. Several participants were interested in coming, but they're going to be otherwise occupied. The next meeting was set up for the 16th, so we're not going to meet that day, okay, that evening. So, and let me show you right quick here the classroom that I have. This is the Helen Keller conference room here. And like I said, Helen Keller is going to be celebrating 125 years. So I'm excited for them there. Miss Collins, the head librarian, is a very dynamic person. She's an educator through and through. She's community-oriented. She's forward-thinking. She's a wonderful person. Professionally and personally. But if you get the if you get the inkling and want to attend, the Helen Keller Public Library website has a calendar, and the calendar has all of the dates for these creative writing classes. Okay. Sometimes we'll talk about technical writing. I take a lot of requests. Okay. So if someone came in here and said, "I want to talk about copywriting for my novel," which could include the blurb on the back of the book cover, the dust jacket. It could talk about the blurb you put on Amazon. If you go that route, I've seen some really terrible blurbs written. So we could talk about that. But I do take requests. But anyway, so again, the purpose of this video is not to where you can see me looking homeless with my beard and my fuzzy hair. It is to review what we talked about, so self-promotion. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well out there, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.